At 17 years old, Cooper Lutkenhaus just became the youngest world champion in athletics history. Now he's about to step onto the biggest stage in professional track and field, the Diamond League circuit, and nobody saw this coming. The American middle distance runner will make his Wanda Diamond League debut at the BAUHAUS-Galan meeting in Stockholm Stadium on June 7th. This isn't just another race. This is a teenager walking into a room full of the greatest athletes on the planet, and he's doing it with a target on his back. Here's why Cooper Lutkenhaus's Diamond League debut is sending shockwaves through the track and field world and what it means for the future of middle distance running. The story starts just months ago, when most people had never heard the name Cooper Lutkenhaus. While other teenagers were worried about prom dates and college applications, this kid from the United States was quietly building something extraordinary on indoor tracks across the country. The 800-meter race is brutal. It's 2 laps around the track where runners have to balance speed with endurance, where one wrong move can cost you everything. At the high school level, breaking 1 minute and 50 seconds puts you in elite company. Cooper wasn't just breaking barriers, he was obliterating them. Last year at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon, the same track where the world's best compete at the Prefontaine Classic, Cooper ran 1 minute and 42.27 seconds. That time made him the fastest under-18 runner in the world. He finished second at the U.S. Championships, earning a spot at the World Championships in Tokyo. But it wasn't just the time he ran, it was how he ran it. Track fans are obsessed with splits, and Cooper's tactical execution at Hayward was terrifying for a high schooler. He unleashed a blistering 51.6 one-second final 400 meters, showcasing a lethal kick that allowed him to hunt down seasoned Olympians in the home stretch. That race proved he didn't just have raw speed, he possessed the tactical maturity and patience of a 10-year veteran. But that was just the beginning. The real shock came at the World Indoor Championships in Kujawi-Pomorze, Poland. Walking into that competition, Cooper wasn't even the favorite in his own event. The 800-meter field was loaded with seasoned professionals, Olympic medalists, and runners who had been competing at the highest level for years. The indoor track at the World Championships buzzed with energy as runners prepared for the men's 800-meter final. Cooper lined up alongside athletes twice his age, men who had been his heroes just months earlier. The starting gun fired, and what happened next left the athletics world speechless. Cooper didn't just win the race, he dominated it. Crossing the finish line with his arms raised, he became the youngest world champion in athletics history at just 17 years old. The celebration in the stadium was electric, with fans on their feet as they witnessed history in the making. He stopped the clock at a staggering 1 minute and 44.24 seconds. To put the magnitude of that victory in perspective, Cooper wasn't just beating other rising stars. He was actively pulling away from established European heavyweights like Belgium's Elliot Creston and Spain's Mohamed Attawi. Stepping onto the global stage and systematically dismantling men in their physical primes elevated Cooper from a national phenom to a global superstar overnight. That victory changed everything. Suddenly, the quiet teenager from America was the most talked about name in middle distance running. But winning indoors is one thing. The Diamond League represents an entirely different level of competition. The Diamond League is track and field's premier circuit, featuring the absolute best athletes in the world competing across 14 meetings throughout the season. These events draw massive crowds, with Stockholm's BAUHAUS being one of the most prestigious stops on the calendar. Cooper himself understands the magnitude of this moment. Standing in what looks like a training facility, he reflected on watching Diamond League races online over the years. The names that have competed at BAUHAUS-Galan have been among the greatest of all time, he said. Sweden's athletics fans are legendary for their passion, and walking into Stockholm Stadium will be unlike anything he has experienced. The competition field for Stockholm reads like a who's who of athletics royalty. Keely Hodgkinson, the world 800-meter record holder, will be racing. Mondo Duplantis, the world pole vault record holder and Swedish favorite, headlines the field events. These are athletes with Olympic medals, world records, and years of dominance at the highest level. What makes Cooper's debut even more remarkable is the pressure he'll face. Every runner in that 800-meter field will be gunning for the teenager who shocked the world indoors. They'll be studying his tactics, his kick, his weaknesses. The target on his back couldn't be bigger, and the hunters are absolute monsters. Outdoors, Cooper will have to face the true titans of the 800 meters. We're talking about heavyweights like world champion Marco Arop, the explosively fast Djamel Sedjati, and Olympic gold medalist Emmanuel Wanyonyi, who himself proved that youth can conquer this brutal event. Lining up against these established giants means Cooper won't just be fighting for a podium spot. He'll be fighting to prove his indoor crown wasn't a fluke and that he belongs in the same conversation as the legends of the sport. But Cooper isn't stopping at Stockholm. His schedule includes the Prefontaine Classic in Eugene on July 3rd, bringing him back to the same Hayward Field track where he first announced himself to the world. Racing on home soil adds another layer of pressure and expectation. The Prefontaine Classic represents American track and field at its finest. The crowds are knowledgeable, the atmosphere electric, and the competition fierce. For Cooper to compete there as the reigning world indoor champion transforms him from promising prospect to legitimate threat. This Diamond League debut represents more than just one teenager's journey. It signals a changing of the guard in middle distance running. For years, the 800 meters has been dominated by runners in their mid to late 20s. Cooper's emergence suggests that the next generation might be arriving earlier than anyone expected. The psychological impact on his competitors cannot be understated. Imagine being a seasoned professional, having worked for years to reach the Diamond League level, only to line up next to a teenager who just became world champion. That kind of disruption can shake the confidence of even the most experienced athletes. Training footage shows Cooper working with the same intensity that carried him to his world championship. His preparation hasn't changed despite the newfound attention. He's still the same focused athlete who shocked the indoor championships, but now he's carrying the expectations of an entire sport. The technical aspects of Cooper's running style make him particularly dangerous in Diamond League competition. His ability to change pace mid-race caught indoor competitors off guard, and that same tactical awareness could prove devastating on the outdoor circuit, where races often come down to the final 100 meters. Stockholm Stadium will witness something special on June 7th. The venue has hosted legendary performances throughout its history, from world records to Olympic trials. Cooper's debut adds another chapter to that storied legacy. Track and field insiders are already comparing this moment to other breakthrough performances in athletics history. When a 17-year-old steps onto the Diamond League stage as world champion, it creates ripple effects that extend far beyond a single race. The sports media covering Diamond League events will have their cameras focused squarely on Cooper when he arrives in Stockholm. His every move will be analyzed, from his warm-up routine to his post-race interviews. This level of scrutiny represents new territory for the young champion. What happens in Stockholm could reshape the entire landscape of middle-distance running. A strong performance validates Cooper's world championship and establishes him as a legitimate force in professional athletics. Anything less than excellence will fuel questions about whether his indoor success was a fluke. Cooper Lutkenhaus's Diamond League debut represents the collision of youth and experience, of potential and proven performance. At 17 years old, he's about to discover what it truly means to compete against the world's best on athletics' biggest stage. The kid who shocked everyone by becoming the youngest world champion in history is about to find out if that was just the beginning of his story.